Hello, Connect Group leader of the Gathering Place Church. Today I want to talk to you about community busters. Those little enemies that try to destroy your group. They try to hinder your goal of developing genuine Christian community. Now there's four of them I want to talk to you about very briefly. The first one is Negative Ned and Negative Nancy. Now these are just the negative people that may come to your group. Most groups have one, and they just seem to have a negative view on everything. And the way you handle them will really determine whether they produce a negative cloud over your group. And also, the way you handle them really depends on what they're negative about. For example, let's say they're negative about leadership. Now, I don't say that for my sake, I say it for our sake. Because look, we are building a great church together. And believe me, if they feel the freedom to talk negatively about me and other leaders, they will feel the freedom to talk negatively about you. Because it's an attitude of heart and mind. And, you know, now if the church's leadership is doing something illegal, illicit, immoral, unbiblical, we all need to shout. But if it's just about maybe a difference of opinions about the decisions leaders have made, well, that's just a test of followership. You see, you really don't know whether you're following well or not until you disagree with your leaders, and then you decide to follow anyway with a good attitude. You see, that's the real test of followership. So that's what you would need to say to someone who's negative about leadership. Say, hey, you know what? This is just a test of our followership. It reveals the attitude of our heart and mind. Let's pray that God will make us great followers. Now, the second thing I want to talk to you about, the second community buster, would be gossip. Now, gossip is a sin. It's a deadly sin because it destroys a person's reputation and defames their character. You cannot allow gossip to survive in your group. You know, our flesh just loves to hear juicy information. But what you've got to do is make sure that you tell the person, you know what? We need to pray for this person, sincerely pray for them, and tell them the truth is we all have some ugly parts about us. And we all have some great parts about us. And you know, you wouldn't want somebody walking around talking about your ugly parts. So we don't want to talk about other people's ugly parts. And what you want to do is encourage them to go directly to the person and share how they feel about what the person said or did. Now, most people won't do that because it takes courage, but you need to encourage them to do that. You know, the truth is we all have ugly parts, and God is working on our ugly parts to turn them into good parts so we can become more like Christ. But here's the goal. We need to decide that we are going to believe the best of one another and focus on each other's good parts. I mean, it's just the same way in marriage, you know that. When you're engaged, you can't see anything but the positive attributes of your fiance. Even though everybody tells you, hey, I see something here, you can't see it. You don't want to know it. But after you get married, you've been married for a while, you know as well as I do, if you start focusing on the negative characteristics of your spouse, the things that irritate you, and you fixate on them, you can destroy your marriage. Well, the same kind of thing can destroy your group, so you got to be really careful with that. The third community buster I want to talk to you about is low commitment. You know, I want to encourage you and challenge you not to be afraid to ask for a great commitment to your Connect group. Cast the vision, share your heart about developing genuine Christian community, and then say the only way we can do that is if we're all truly committed to meeting together every week. And don't be afraid to do that. People really want to develop something great with you, and you need to lead the way. And finally, the last community buster is minimal communication. And what I mean by that is, if you want to develop genuine Christian community, you're not going to do it if the only time you guys see each other or communicate is the once a week when they come to your group or when you say hi and bye on a Sunday morning. You know, one of the most important things you can do is to communicate with your members during the week. Not maybe every one of them every week, but every week, one or two of them. If you call them on the phone, text them, email them, take them out to coffee, talk to them. You know what they'll know? You truly care about them. Because here's what they think. They think you're obligated to connect with them when they're at your Connect group. But when you do it, quote, on your own time, in the middle of the week, that's when they know you really care about them. So I want to encourage you to watch out for these community busters. Protect your group. Be a good shepherd. Watch out for these things and keep your group on the right track. I'm praying for you. Be sure you're praying for me, and let's continue to develop genuine Christian community.